Example 2 from our notes is an example where we're going to use intercept form. All right, so in this problem where you're a meteorologist, so many hours after midnight, you're trying to find the coldest temperature. Before we can do that, we need to make an equation we can use. So in this case, we're going to use what we got. So again, we have a random point here, and then we have some x-intercepts, also our roots. Okay, so here's the graph the meteorologist gave us, and basically this is a root here. Here's the other root. Okay, and then we have our random points over here. Okay, so the point gives us x and y. This 4 here is going to be our P. This 24 here will be our Q. And that's the information we're going to use to build our equation. All right, so since we have the roots, it makes no sense to use vertex form. We're going to use the form that gives us the roots, and that is the intercept form. Okay, so again, steps are very similar, except we're going to substitute numbers for P and Q. X and Y comes from the random points. We put all those numbers in, we solve for the A value, then we rewrite it, the equation with the A, P, and Q values in it. All right, so let's go ahead and do that step. All right, so intercept form is A times X minus P and X minus Q. So note X is in two places here, so you have to put whatever X number in there twice. And remember, P and Q, you need to switch those signs every time you're putting them in or taking out of the formula. All right, so let's go ahead and start putting some numbers in here. So Y here is 9.6. We don't know A yet. X is going to be 0. P is 4. So 0 minus 4 times 0 minus 24, which was our Q. Notice how they went opposite. All right, so we're going to combine like terms and do some solving. So we got 9.6, A times a negative 4 times a negative 24. Okay, negative 4 times 4 is 96. So we got 9.6 equals 96A. Divide 96 both sides. Boom. And our A value here is going to be 0.1, and that is our A value. So in our equation, we get 0.1 times X minus 4 and X minus 24. This is the equation we will use. All right, so he wants to know the coldest temperature. So this one requires a little bit of thinking. So if we look at this graph, the coldest temperature is basically the minimum part of this graph. So it's very point right here. And we're not quite sure where that is. So we're going to be smart and we're going to use our axis of symmetry. Okay, axis of symmetry. And what that's going to do is basically help us find the vertex. So using our axis of symmetry, we get this equation, x equals P plus Q over 2. All right, and that'll give us our x value. So we're going to have a 4 plus 24 over 2. It's 28 over 2, and that gives us 14. Okay, and what the 14 represents is the hours after midnight. All right. Okay, so with this 14, what we're going to do is use the equation we just found. We're going to put 14 into those x values, and then we're going to figure out the y value, which is the temperature. 14 is the x value where the parabola is at its minimum, basically the x value of that vertex. So using our equation, y equals 0.1. We got 14 minus 4 times 14 minus 24. All right, put all that into the calculator. We're going to get negative 10 degrees Celsius is the minimum temperature.